Vibe higher. All right, so I'm gonna go in on this spell talk real quick. So understanding what spells are. Everybody on this plane of existence is using spells. Everybody on this plane of existence is under a spell. There's no getting out of it. You know, when we first get into the school system, they literally teach us how to spell words, spelling. And if you actually look up the etymology of what spelling is, talking about the root wording of what spelling is and the history of it, you will see that it says a story, a narrative under spell, right? And then you can even look further down and it says a religious doctrine. So this is just all showing you how all of these things are connected with spells and what you tell yourself. And you can even see how people respond when they're under a spell. You know, a lot of people are triggered. You know, we've seen that where they wave the little clock in front of their eyes and they go back and forth, and then it's a certain specific word or direction that they give them, and every time they hear it, they get triggered and they react and respond. So this is what I'm getting into. And we can look at it when we look at this culture, you know, of music, rap music, you know. People will listen to songs all day talking about murdering their own kind. You know, but when something happens to their family, a loved one that gets killed, they ride to the funeral listening to music about killing. They're so desensitized, they just lost a loved one to gunfire, and they're riding to their funeral, listening to music speaking on murder like it's nothing. So we got to understand what's really going on. You know, when we first got into the school system, that was the whole foundation of the school system for us to be able to be spellbound. You know, it's a lot of different spells, and you can even get into the God spell. The God spell. It's a God spell. You know, even with religion. You know, so you can't get away from spells. We're all using this word magic, words backwards is sword. We got to understand that, you know, this is one of the main weapons that's being used to entrap people in their mind. You know, when we first get into the school system, it's basically like you're building up, you know, like a software system for a computer, right? So for that software to be able to operate within that computer, we have to set it up and sync it with specifics. We have to connect it to where it's an understanding. You know, it can communicate with the computer. The computer can communicate with the software. So this is how things work. When we're in school, they're teaching us spelling, spell casting, spellbound. So once they give us the words, now they can control and trigger us. You know, once you associate yourself with black, once you associate yourself with a single mom, once you associate yourself with the doctor, these narratives can be used and utilized to trigger people. It's a spell. They're triggered when they see this. When they see black, the way that how it's used is going to trigger them. Black people ain't shit. They're triggered. You know what I'm saying? Somebody say, teachers shouldn't get paid as much as they get. Triggered. It's the words. Oh, I'm a teacher. Oh, I'm a mother. You know, so this is how people are, you know, led astray because they can't disassociate themselves with this word in their true self. You're not a word. So this is how the spell works. They need you to connect to this word. They need you to blend and mesh with this word. And another way you can see that is people are doing life behind words. People are doing life behind a racial slur. Somebody calls somebody a racial slur, or somebody calls somebody out of their name, and they're locked up for life right now. You can't tell me that's not a spell. You can't. And how do you know it's a spell? Because they're not under the same spell no more. I bet once they get in jail 10 years later, you think they still under that same spell? No. They're under a spell. So we have to understand the power of language and understand there is no getting out of understanding that we're casting spells all day with our language. What are we telling ourselves? Look at somebody's life. That'll tell you the spell that they're under, what they keep telling themselves. That's why you have to take control of your mind. You can't let people constantly keep telling you stuff. And that's even like with relationships. This is how you even know in relationships we're under spells. You know, people constantly telling each other, I love you, I love you, I miss you, I love you, I miss you, I love you, I miss you, I love you for 8 years straight, 10 years straight. I love you, I miss you, I miss you, I love you. This person cheating on you in your face and you confused about it, if they really love you or not. We see it all the time. Let's be real. It's a spell. And then what happens when you break up? You be like, I can't even believe I did that. I never do no shit like that. Like, you're under a spell. And what most people do is when they get out of a relationship or something, instead of programming their own mind, because you have to use the English language or you have to use a language in your head, which create mantras, which create affirmations. And anything that's in your head is dealing with letters that are spelled out. So you're always spell casting. The thing is to take control of your mind and put the spell on yourself. Anything you want to obtain, it comes down to spell casting. Ain't nothing evil about spell casting. You can put a spell on yourself to feed the community. You could put a spell on yourself to help abandoned mothers. You could put a spell on yourself to uplift fathers that's being taken down by the system. There's nothing that's witchcraft about this. Only thing that's witchcraft about it is the misunderstanding of it. People don't understand. When you have people leading you astray and you don't have an idea that they're doing it, yeah. That's black magic. But people want to, all these words, spell and curse. No, we're using this every day. People look at other people and say they witches, and you're doing the same damn thing every damn day. You're just weak at it. You don't have no knowledge of it. So, you know, you associate it with what you want to associate it with. But when people break up, like I was about to say, they get into another relationship. This is when the spell is broken. The spell is broken by getting under a new spell. Now you got a new dude telling you he love you. Now you got a new dude telling you he miss you. Now you got a new girl telling you she love you and she miss you. You're under a new spell. This is why some people can never get over the spell that they're under until they get with someone else. This is an easier way to move on instead of just dealing with it. So you have to have a strong mind, man, and understand how this language works. Like, we all are, you know what I'm saying, wizards or whatever you want to call it. It don't have to be nothing negative behind it. People take these words and just make something out of it that it just ain't. But I just want to say, what's the point of having all of these beliefs and these ideologies of what things is and standing firm on what this is and what that is if you're not at peace, if you're stressed every day, if your life is in shambles and you're scared of the world because it just seems evil? What does that matter that you look at life like that? Like, who cares? You got enough to deal with. You can keep calling it witchcraft or whatever. You're bound. You're bound by it. So it really don't even matter. We should be trying to reach towards peace and transcending, this language. So the whole thing is we have to talk within language, which is already a dense form of communication. Things that we receive from spirit, when we start putting them in words, it's even a more dense form. This is a dense form. That's why everybody has to understand knowing thyself. You have to know it These things are within you. Nobody can tell you about this stuff. Nobody can tell you about God. Nobody in the history of religion or whatever can tell you about God. Why? Because when they speak, they can only tell you about their experience with God. You know what I'm saying? Just because you relate, you know what I'm saying? That's all it is. You're just relating. You have a similar experience. But you cannot yourself or anybody else that's ever attempted to, no one can tell anybody about God. Anytime we speak on God or the Creator, we're only speaking from our experience with quote unquote Creator or God. That's all you can do is speak on your experience. You can't tell nobody about anything because you have to go within and find this out yourself. Nobody can tell you about something that's indescribable. That's all I'm trying to say. Nobody can tell you something that's indescribable. Point blank, period. So, it's under a spell, man. I know people that had married Christian people or Hebrew people and got, you know what I'm saying, broken the fuck down in life because they put their guards down. Oh, this is a Hebrew woman. Oh, this is a Christian man of God. And they fucked your whole life up. Why? The spell casting. Your ass is under a spell. Shit that this motherfucker doing, other people is doing the same thing. They just not a Christian. But since they're a Christian, you're blinded. You're under a damn spell. So you got to take control of your life. Every day you wake up, tell yourself, I'm great. Tell yourself, I'm exactly where I need to be in life. Tell yourself, I love myself. Tell yourself, I love everything. Tell yourself everything always works out for the best. These are the things you have to tell yourself. We let the media tell us who we are. So we got to understand, like, if we don't take control of our mind, every word that goes into our head is casting a spell. So I'm out. This is definitely going to be a part 2 because it's just so much to cover on this topic. But free your mind. Do some research on what a spell is. You're using it every day and don't even know it. You're literally a prisoner to a lot of people by the spelling. And exactly what I speak on when I talk about, I've used this example many times. As far as the spell, how you know someone is under a spell with these other examples I just mentioned. You know, like I said, as a black man, I can go get a Facebook page, you know. I can put a racist symbol on my profile page as a black man. Go on a Black Lives Matter page and start spitting racial slurs. These people won't even have an idea that this could be a black person. This is just an experiment to see how people are triggered and under spells. They don't even know it's a black man behind this profile. Now they're triggered, wasting their time. And we can go down the line with religion, with sports, anything you want to name. If someone can say this word and it trigger you and it make you not even think, you're under a spell. Sorry to say. And we can't get out of it. Like I said, you have to put spells on yourself. That's what they don't want you to know. There's no getting out of using language, and you have to protect your mind and understand the root of words. Look up etymology. Look up the root of every word that you use. And you got to quit talking in future or past tense. You have to talk in the moment. I have it now. Before I started my businesses and all of this, I always said that I had it already. I didn't even really realize I was doing it until I looked back like, damn. You know, now we on the second business. So you have to speak now. Not I'm about to, I'm going to try. We don't even understand the energy that gives off when you talk like that. I want to, I believe I can. Like, I don't have enough. I'm broke. Anything I say, I speak it as if it's happening now. I don't care if somebody can see it happening right now or not. There's no separation from now and the past and the future. What you say right now, right, is going to be your past and the future. So if I say I have a business right now, I'm putting that into the future. If I say I'm going to try to get my business started, I'm pushing it into the future. But I'm out though, y'all. Much love. Just something to think about. Oh yeah. Can't save everybody.